So I'd like to just do a brief exercise. If you could all point to yourself. Point to yourself. Literally point to yourself. Okay. So most of you pointing to yourself, you're actually pointing to your heart, right? Your heart area. Is anybody pointing up to the head or to the kneecap? Why do you think that is? Because actually we believe that the essence of who we are is in the heart. So you don't say, I love you, or I love you, or I love relocation. You really say, I love relocation, right? So it comes from the heart. And yet, today, we actually are very influenced by culture and by society to work in the brain. And it's all about the left brain, and it's moving a little bit, but still it's all about what have we achieved? How are we measuring things? How successful are we? How tangible is this stuff? And by the way, I'm right and you're wrong. Yeah? So there's a lot of this stuff that's going on in our head. And we ask ourselves, being right or wrong, is that really what it's about? Because a bird doesn't sing because it has an answer. A bird sings because it has a song. And there's a wonderful story that some of you might have heard. I don't know if you've heard of TED. Have you heard of TED, the wonderful inspirational videos, TED.com? Absolute wonderful man, Sir Ken Robinson. He's an absolute guru in education. And one of the stories he tells is about a little girl, 6 years old, and she's normally doesn't really pay much attention in class. And on this particular day, she's in the class. It's a drawing class. She's at the back, and she's really working hard. And the teacher's intrigued by this. And she goes up to the little girl, and she says, "What are you drawing?" And the girl says, "I'm drawing God." And the teacher says, "But nobody knows what God looks like." And she says, "They will in a minute." I love that story because children don't take no for an answer. Children don't believe things are right and wrong. They just go for it, and they really try to nail it. So one of my big questions that I ask my clients is, would you rather be right or happy? I'd actually ask you to write this down, just to remember it, and I'll tell you why later, why it's so important to write things down. But if you have a pen and paper, there's a couple of quotations I'm going to share with you. So would you rather be right or happy? I believe that inspiration, innovation, and creativity are the fuel of our economy. Why do I believe that? Because we're now moving out of the industrial age. We're in the information age. The industrial age was all about our hands. It was about widgets. It was about what can we make? How quickly can we make it? How fast can we get it to market? And now we are in this information age where we have to be on our feet and think. We have to be creative. We have to be, with the speed of change happening, I'm sure you will all know, if we look back at the index yesterday, how fast is the relocation industry moving? How fast are other industries moving? You're actually paid to think nowadays than you are to work with your hands. And the most prestigious jobs out there are actually jobs that ask you to think. And whether you are a relocation agent or whether you are the CEO of a company, whether you actually control the finances or whether you're leading your people, do you think that you have to think? Do you have to feel? Or do you have to do with your hands? A model with you that's based on neuroscience again. And some of you will recognize this. Who knows what this model is? Iceberg, exactly. What do we know about icebergs? 90% is underwater, okay? Now, that means, believe it or not, right down here are your thoughts. They are so underwater, you're not even aware of it. Your thoughts and your feelings are aligned, and they will drive what you do. And up here is how you show up in the world, okay? That is actually your result. So your thoughts are going to drive your feeling. These are actually aligned. And that together will drive how you're going to behave, how you're going to act, what you're going to do. And then in return, what we all see you doing is your behavior, and that's going to be your result. So I'm actually saying that we're paid to think, but I'm actually saying that this is where it starts, and only at the end do we see a result. And all of that has to be in alignment. And I'm going to explain that to you in more detail. If you say that you have a meeting to go to, and you're going to a sales meeting, and you are thinking that this is going to be a pretty good meeting. You know, you're prepared, and you kind of know what to expect. You've asked the right questions, and you go in there with confidence. And you go in there, and you kind of shoulders back. I was going to say chest out. That's what they say in Germany. I was told you're not allowed to say chest out. So shoulders back, and you head up high, and you think, I'm going to nail this. So your thoughts are quite positive. You're going to nail this. You go in there, and chances are you will come out of that meeting feeling pretty good. You might not have secured a deal, but you will have moved forward. Now imagine another scenario where you have been told that in a move, one of your clients' pianos has been damaged. And what's happened? It's a CEO of one of your biggest clients, and you're exceptionally worried because you're going to have to sort this problem out. And you know that if you don't sort it, it's going to reap big repercussions. So you go in there very worried. You don't know how you're going to solve it because you don't know anything about pianos. You have to sort it out today, and you're feeling very insecure. You don't have anybody to talk to about it. So what happens? I can hear as I'm talking about it, my voice is going down. Okay? So my thoughts are not very positive. I'm going to start feeling not very good about this. And my actions are probably going to mirror that. And then my behavior is going to be the result of that. Okay? Are you getting where I'm coming from? So hands up. Who of you is good at painting? Who's good at painting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, who's good at painting? 6. Very good. Okay, excellent. If I had asked you that in kindergarten, how many of you would have put your hands up? Exactly. Every single one of you would have said you're good at painting. Interesting, huh? So what's happened over the years is that your brain, your thoughts, have started all of limiting beliefs. And suddenly now, and suddenly you don't know how to paint anymore. How comes? I'm sure all of you do know how to paint. It's just in your mind.